Hi, it's Anton here from Volograms, and this video is going to show you how to get set up as a first-time user with the Volograms Unity plugin, which will let you create your own projects and import into those Volograms you've captured with the Volu phone app and export it to your desktop, and you can then include them in your Unity projects. Okay, so the first step is we need to download the plugin itself, and you'll find that on GitHub on Volograms page under GitHub, which is github.com/Volograms, which is what you're seeing here on the screen. And this is where we host a variety of our open source, free and open source projects. And what you're looking for is the Volograms Unity plugin. So if you click on that, it takes it to the page for that repository. And you will see you're first presented with a list of files. And then if you scroll down, you'll find the README. Have a flick through the README and just check for your type of project what your supported platforms or the state of support for those platforms might be. This is an ongoing project, so expect updates. I'm going to be showing you how to use this on Windows. It's going to be a very similar process for Macs, except we don't have at the time of this video recording full support for the new M1 chip Macs yet. So come and check in on the Discord for progress on these other platforms, and you'll be able to chat to the developers directly. Okay, so what you can ignore safely is if you scroll down, you'll see there's a developer guide. That's not for us. We're not going to be building the plugin ourselves or attempting to fix any bugs. So for your first time user, you don't need any of this information down the bottom. You only need these first two steps. Easiest way to get started, download a pre-built plugin from the releases page. So if you click on that, you can see Patrick's been assembling packages for different updates to the plugin over time. So when you come and get the plugin yourself, there may be an even newer version available. At the time of this recording, 0.1.3 is the newest version. So I'm going to click on that. And it lists 3 files there, as well as some changelog notes. This is things that have been updated since the previous version. You don't need the source code. We just want to download the Unity package itself. So just click on that and download that somewhere on your computer. And I've got that already here. Now, if you're on Windows and you've already got Unity installed, you don't really need to do a whole lot. You just need to double click on this and it'll start Unity for you. And it will automatically pull in that package. If this process doesn't work, and after creating a new project, which I'm about to do now, you're able to manually import a plugin as well. So if you don't get the Volograms plugin available in your project, don't worry, I'll show you how to do that manually as well. So I'm just going to make a new project here, and I'm going to call it first time user demo, and it's just a typical 3D project, and hit create. Now this will take a little while to load up. While this is happening, I'll just explain what's in the plugin. So the plugin has some scripts that'll help you import Volograms into Unity, and it knows how to understand that file format. But it also has a sample scene, and the first thing I'm going to do is load in that sample scene, which includes a Vologram you can use to test everything's working. After we've done that, I'm going to show you how to pull in one of your own Volograms. So I've got one here on my desktop, and you'll see that if you've got a Vologram from Volu, if you email it to yourself or send it to your computer, it'll have a unique number like this, _ld.zip. If you extract or unzip that into a folder, which you'll need to do before you can import it, and open that folder, you'll see a list of files like this in here. So each Vologram has a header, a sequence file, a skeleton, which you won't need for playing in Unity, and video texture. Now, if you're looking at these file name extensions, .vols, .bvh, .mp4, and if you're not seeing those on your computer, on Windows, go to the View menu and just find this checkbox here, File Name Extensions, and it'll make it clear what format the files are. Okay, so these are what a Vologram is comprised of, this set of files. You might decide to rename your folders after you extract them to something a little more meaningful so you can tell the difference between them. as you like. Okay, so going back to Unity now, you'll see that this dialog, which I'm shaking around, has popped up, and it said that the Volograms Unity Player 0.1.3 is being imported. Would you like to import all this stuff? And yes, I do. So I'm going to hit import. If you don't see this pop up, you can do it manually as well. And you'll find under the assets menu, there is an import package option there. So if you haven't double clicked and got your plugin to load like I did there, you can do it manually. Okay, so you'll see down the bottom left here under the assets drop down, there's a new folder called Volograms Toolkit, which we've imported. So that has the scripts for customizing game objects. It has some plugin files in there. And it's got a demo scene. So I'm going to open that, and if I double click on the demo scene there, you'll see it's loaded that in and replaced the sample scene up the top left scene browser window there with demo scene, and we have a new game object in there called Vologram. Right, so this is a typical game object. It's positioned at 0, 0, 0 at the origin of the scene. And it has a new component, which you won't have seen before, called Vol Player. You can add this component manually to your game objects. This one's already set up for us. And I'll just go through the fields that are in there briefly. So the first thing you'll notice is it has some paths to files. So this is referring at the moment to a Vologram that was included in the assets subfolder tree here. So it's called California, and it has again a header, a sequence, and a video texture. We'll click back on our Vologram there. So that's just pointing to that folder that contains these 3 files, right? So that first path points to a folder containing the files. The second path down here points to a video texture, so it's pointing to the file itself. And the reason you need to do that, and it doesn't just decide for you, is sometimes you have more than one video texture in different resolutions, and this way you can choose which one you want. Okay, scrolling down a bit, we have some checkboxes. It's set to play whenever you start the scene. It's set to loop automatically. It's not set by default to play any recorded audio, so if you want audio to play back with it, check that box. I'm going to leave it unchecked because in this particular Vologram there's just a bit of background noise that was picked up that I don't want to play. If you get stuck, there's a drop down here to turn on various debugging logs. So if something's not loading or there's a bug in it, you can actually go over to the console tab on the bottom left here, and if you've got all these logs turned on, it should print out some error messages for you, which you can attach to a bug report if you need to report any issues. Okay, so I'm just going to hit play. So to begin with, all I did, just recapping, is go to the Volograms Toolkit asset folder, go to demo, double click on scene to load in the demo scene, and that's it actually. And then just hit play. And that has loaded in and is playing a Vologram. Now the first thing you'll notice is it's quite a long way off. So I'm going to modify my scene. I'm just going to stop it playing, and I'm going to change the camera position so it's a bit closer to the origin. It's 10 units away. I'm going to change it to about 2. Play it again. There we go. So this is a great test Vologram that I like using to test I've got everything set up right, because it has text in English on the t-shirt, so I can see it's the right way around, right? It says California on there, and I can tell it's not mirrored, it's not inside out. So that's perfect. Now this is a bit of an older Vologram capture, so the quality is a bit lower than what you'll get these days from your phone. But that's all I needed to know to see that it's working correctly. Okay, so let's load or simulate loading one that you've got from your phone. So I want to point it to this folder here is the first step. So I'm just going to modify that game object to point to my own Vologram as opposed to the one that was included. So the first thing there is the path to that folder containing the header, sequence, and skeleton. I'm just going to copy paste the path from Explorer there. And I think that should work. And then the second path there is the path to the video texture. My one has the same name, but just double check. Some of them are called texture_1024. You can use the pickers here to find your file, but I don't think I need to. I'm just going to copy paste that path in there, and I think that'll work fine. So all I did was change those 2 paths. The first to the folder containing the Vologram bits, and the second one to the video texture I want to use. I'm going to hit play. And now we can see This is a bit of a higher quality Vologram that's captured from Volu, and that's all working well. I'm actually going to also go down here and turn on audio. I think there's some background noise in there that you'll be able to hear if I've got this set up right.
Explosion.
Okay.
Explosion.
Okay. Right, so you may have music or the captured person speaking and you wanted to add that to your playback. You can do that there. Okay, that's it, I think. If you get really stuck, feel free to jump on the Discord channel we have with Volograms and ask questions. You'll be able to get some help there. You'll be able to see what other users are doing with these plugins. If you want to share, if you've made a really interesting project, it will also be really great to see what people are doing. I think that's very inspiring for other people as well. So please do feel free to post your progress pictures or your project pictures. That'd be fantastic. If you want to move on and also package your project so it runs on an external device like a headset, I think what we'll do is make another short video tutorial to help you out there. Okay, so that's it. First time user. Download the plugin, set up the Vologram demo scene from the assets that have been added by the plugin. Just play, you don't need to do anything. And then secondly, if you want to load your own Vologram, just use the file pickers within that game object in the Volu player script component at the bottom of the game object there. And set them to your, first of all, your folder containing the Vologram bits, and then secondly, to the texture video you want to use.